humanity of these people, Mike. They're people. They are people. They're not numbers on a sheet.
I know they're people, and we have people in this country living on the streets because some Afghanistani people are living in four-star hotels.
How could you possibly assume that the two are equivalent?
They are equivalent.
You're assuming that a migrant is somehow standing there waiting to take the space of the British person.
What I'm saying is the present British government
conflating two really important things.
Put the needs of people who come in boats across the Channel ahead of the needs of British people.
These Liberals are totally flipping out now the narrative has changed. Look how irascible she is. The British people have had enough of being second-class citizens in their own country. All he said was we are not responsible for the world and we should start putting our own people first. That's a mainstream opinion. Yet that alone was enough to make this woman have an apoplectic meltdown. Afghanistan is too dangerous to send anyone back there, we're told. But she thinks it's okay to import all their men here without vetting them. Apparently, importing them is the consequences of our own actions. So tough luck. No, not tough luck. I never invaded Afghanistan. If she's got a problem with that, then take it up with the government. It's not my problem. No one is denying we helped destabilise the Middle East. And as her opponent said, we should not be getting involved over there, full stop. But let's not kid ourselves, Afghanistan would be a nice place if we'd not have invaded. Afghanistan is a tribal nation with lots of people who believe in hardcore versions of Islam, and they will use violence to impose that version. It's not like here, where we may have a civil war, and then as soon as it's over, we go back to a peaceful society. Well, eventually we get back to a peaceful nation. That's because we are a democratic nation with high levels of social cohesion where the vast majority of us believe in tolerance and individual freedoms. Places like Afghanistan don't have social cohesion because of Islam and tribalism. The last thing we want is to import all that here, which unfortunately we are already doing. It's funny how she said, these people coming over on boats are not taking houses and resources from the British people that need them. We all know that to be a disingenuous lie. At the end of the day, she can get as angry as she wants. All he said was the truth, and clearly he's past caring what she thinks, like the rest of us. Take a watch.
Of course they are.
When they are the recognised government of
Hamas
that.
are a terrorist organisation. Al-Shabaab are a terrorist organisation. The Taliban are a designated terrorist organisation.
But it's nothing to do with us.
One moment. Not only does this incentivise the Taliban to release more migrants because they will be able to get some kind of relief out of it, but there have been 2.1 million Afghans expelled from Pakistan and Iran this year alone.
Yes.
What kind of a country can tolerate, with a few economic opportunities it has, like Afghanistan, can tolerate another wave? Like, we're forgetting the humanity of these people, Mike. They're people. They are people. They're not numbers on a sheet.
I know they're people, and we have people in this country living on the streets because some Afghanistani people are living in four-star hotels.
How could you possibly assume that the two are equivalent?
They are equivalent.
You're assuming that a migrant is somehow standing there waiting to take the space of the British person.
What I'm saying is the present British government
you are conflating two really important things.
Put the needs of people who come in boats across the Channel ahead of the needs of British people who've been here for decades.
Let's take some calls.
Yeah, but Bobby, sorry, can I just interrupt? Bobby, are we supposed to be the carers for the whole of the world?
You went and fought a war because of that.
Look, it's shown before when we've invaded countries like Iraq, like Libya.
I know.
Right? That we shouldn't get involved in other countries and the way they want to run their country. They want to run their country their way.
If it isn't the consequences of our actions, this is what we did. We are living in the aftermath of 14 years of brutality. And this is the consequences of our actions. We went in there and we stipulated point blank that we are there to help the women and children of Afghanistan.
You can't keep going back in history. I'm sorry, you can't.
Yeah, but we've got to learn the lessons. We've got to learn the lessons from history, Mike.
Every country's learned lessons from history for the last 200 years.
If we suspect that sending people back means a death sentence for them, we are complicit in it.
We're only sending back failed asylum seekers or people who've got a criminal record, OK? We're not remember, we're not sending everybody back. If people come, they're assessed and they say, right, you've got a justifiable case, you can stay, that's fine.
Okay.
We're getting rid of those who will not improve our society.
Okay,
and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the boat problem in the Channel, I think the number of illegal immigrants now pouring into the country has finally woken up this country to the reality of the fact that we are under societal attack in this country, and we've got to do something to try and stop people coming into the country because they're changing our country.
So the answer is...
we have a right to resist it.
So the answer is to go across to the Taliban in Afghanistan, with whom we were at war within living memory, and with people who have been terrorists, who have taken British lives, sit around with a table and they say, how much do you want?
But Matt, you know that
refugee.
History proves that you have to change your mind all the time and who you're dealing with. I mean, at one time, the people who now run Israel were terrorists, but we had to deal with them when Palestine was Palestine. In fact, you have to change your mind all the time and adjust to be pragmatic about how you serve the interests of your own country.
And that ended up really well.
Not other people's countries.
The Home Office no longer classifies the Taliban as terrorists. So for them to do that, Nellifer, there must have been some kind of recalibration about their activities at the moment, or maybe it's the fact that they are the governing body now in Afghanistan, so we deal with them as that. That's what you have to do. That's
what do you say to the hundreds of service persons that were killed in Afghanistan? What do you say to them?
To their relatives?
What do you say about what they gave their lives for? How can you, in your right, like with self-respect and decency, stand in front of the families and the relatives and what they fought for? They thought they were dying for a free country.
You're looking for a perfect world.
This is really,
we sat down and formed the European Union with Germany
the European
after
Union,
the Second World War. That's what politics is. That's what diplomacy is.
This isn't Germany after the war where they were going to get a new country out of it. The Taliban haven't changed. There was no such thing as the Taliban 2.0. If anything, they are even more determined, well-armed, well-funded, and now they've got a nation. The Taliban stands against the West.
Of course they do.
They are our enemies.
Yeah, but 18 months after the end of the Vietnam War, the United States was opening up trade channels with Vietnam. I'm afraid that the real